Okay, so we're gonna look at our LLTS 5 game with Starmarck. It's round 2. The format is WR, and we're going first. So we've got an interesting row to begin with. I don't think there's any way that you don't take Blob Miner as the first pick here. You know, it allows you to ramp towards Nexus, and if things don't go your way and your opponent gets more trade, for instance, then you can potentially scrap the bomb, in this case Nexus, before they get to it. So it's kind of, it does some really good work. So we're going to pick up Blob Miner, and then we see a farm ship drop. Now, farm ship's really good, and Builder Bot, which is like a worse repair bot in most cases, actually pairs really nicely with farm ship. So we don't really want Starmark to take both of those. Unlikely he'll get to do that on his first turn, because he's probably looking at a 4. And as we don't really want Builder Bot, but we are interested in scrapping, we are going to take the other scrapper, which is not wonderful, but it's the disadvantage of scrapping from your hand is obviously that you're losing a resource that you could otherwise use, but the upside is that you're not missing a scrap. So that's our first turn, and then Starmark goes straight in for Builderbot, which means he's probably got 5, right? But as it turns out, no, he doesn't. He just has a 3, and he picks up Predator. So Starmark making an early case here to play an aggressive game. Now we have got a 5, which means that all of our trade is topped, which is outrageous. And so really here the choice is between farm ship and Oracle. Now if we know that Starmark's definitely got a 5. If we take farm ship, we don't have much or any combat to get rid of Oracle without scrapping the farm ship. Or getting lucky with a Plasma Bot and Scrapper and Viper alignment, but then we're not buying anything of much use. So the farm ship Oracle decision here for me is quite interesting, because whoever picks up farm ship is probably not getting rid of the Oracle, which is why we choose Oracle, and then Mining Mech drops, and that really makes it so that Starmark, I think, has to pick up Mining Mech here, but it also means that he's really only got the Predator to get rid of Oracle, and we top it, which is actually really, really good, because we've got Vipers that we bottom decked, so we can play with that. Sure enough, Starmark picks up Mining Mech, sees the Solar Skiff, doesn't pick it up because he's already in 2 colours. Trying to stay away from getting overcommitted there. We're going to get rid of a Viper because it's still early, and then we are going to take the Solar Skiff. We are now, I think, with our Plasma Bot, with the likelihood of getting another base or farm ship in the next turn to roll into the next deck, we're really looking to pick up the Nexus or the Palace. So Starmark, as it turns out, tops the Builder Bot, has to scrap it to get rid of Oracle, but it's also done him no good, so that's fair enough. And then he picks up a base because he knows we're light on damage. So now we're on a 5, and we are going to definitely go in on farm ship. There's a couple of big bases there that we really want. We are going to get behind on damage if we don't watch ourselves here, and we bottomed our scrap and our trade, of course. Starmark's going to be looking at being able to aggressively rush quite well here. He gets a Mining Mech, scraps the Viper from hand, and picks up the Light Cruiser, and then at the base. So Starmark now really threatening to move quickly as well with both that base. I may or may not have been interrupted and forgotten what I was talking about, but I think I was talking about the Light Cruiser and the yellow base. And essentially we don't want Starmark to get that moving, get that combination going. So for our turn, we're really going to look to get rid of yellow things, which means, unfortunately, as much as we like Supply Depot, because we can't use it, it's got to go. Starmark's probably not going to pick up Imperial Palace straight away, so I feel okay leaving that. We are, however, very, very interested in the Repair Mech. It's going to help us scrap out. It's going to allow us to pop bases on top when and if we pick them up later. It's going to keep more scrap away from Starmarck and keep him away from having as much trade to get the bases that we want. And then we're going to scrap out a scout and get rid of some damage into his face. So 46, 47, feels like we're doing alright. We're going to get rid of Plasma right now because we've got Farm Ship and we've got Repair Mech, so we have enough trade. We don't really need Plasma, and we think we can buy what we need. We have flipped Peacekeeper though, which if Starmark gets the trade for it is going to be a real problem, but he doesn't. He tops Light Cruiser, picks up Spike Cluster, and doesn't buy anything else. So this now leaves us free to buy Peacekeeper if we draw. What I should have done is just straight up discarded Oracle, but I don't think I did because I was hoping to draw a Solar Skiff with the Farm Ship. We do. So here, if I remember rightly, I get rid of Oracle because we're not going to be scrapping out if we play it anyway, so there's no point keeping it. Plus, it'll give us more allies in the next deck to be able to make sure we get the scrap from the incidental scrappers. So we do discard Oracle. And we do have 7, so we could get the bases here, but Peacekeeper's way too good of a card to let go, especially facing against an aggressive deck. Federation Cruiser, of course, drops set times, but we do have enough to buy it. That's not going to happen because Starmark goes straight in with a Predator in the base, picks up Fed Cruiser, and now it's all bases, so we can only really pick up Conversion Yard here, which we do. More scrap, more bases, more good. We've got a pretty good hand for the next turn. We can dig a bit further into those bottom cards. We can maybe put a base on top. We'll see what happens, but Federation Cruiser gets topped to ally with the base, scraps out with Mining Mech, gets the Light Cruiser combo here, and so we are hurting on damage. And we're also very behind on Authority Turtles. Now, Starmark does us a favour here by getting rid of that base. I'm not sure I would have done in that position, to be honest. I know he was hoping to draw the trade, which he does, and he buys Imperial Palace because it goes very well with the things that he's got. And we get a spot of luck here because it pairs into, or rather drops Ion Station. We're very interested in Ion Station, so we're going to get rid of the Scout. We're going to play our Oracle. We're going to play the Farm Ship. We are then going to get rid of the Scout. We're going to scrap the Viper. We're going to play the Repair Mech and scrap out with it, and we are going to buy that Ion Station like a hot damn because it's so good. We're then going to get rid of Farm Ship because we're probably in a good spot for trade, because we've got to get rid of his base there. We don't want him cycling. We don't want the velocity. So we bottomed Peacekeeper and Solar Skiff. And the Scrapper again. So as long as we can keep surviving, we're going to do all right here, maybe, because we're getting draws, we're getting authority, and Starmark can only get rid of the base, which is great for us. We are down to 18 though, so we need to get some work done quick because Starmark's into his next deck. We're going to draw 2 cards. One of those is an Ion Station, which is huge for us here. It gives us a huge swing in authority. We can get to scrap out, and we can get to buy the Nexus finally, dropping Wrecker. Kind of get a bit closer to equalising. Starmark's going to go off to the draw races, but he doesn't get the 3rd yellow, which is important. The second discard and the draw card here would have been quite bad for us. So he's only got 4 to hurt us with. Drops some nanobots onto the table. We're going to have to get rid of a Scout. We are going to scrap from hand to get the damage to get rid of the base. We're going to then top, I think we top Nexus if I remember correctly, because we're looking to get draws and damage down there. We're going to scrap out. Nothing with the trade there. And we're starting to get a tight deck. and now our concern is that we have to survive long enough to get that advantage. We've got the draw. It's just about whether we can last the damage. So Imperial Palace comes down. There's Fed Cruiser, gets the ally, draws, gets Spike Cluster down, allies with the Predator, scraps out with Mining Mech, hits us in the face, and picks up a Wrecker. So it's not great. It's 45-12. But Repair Mech does give us the opportunity to top a base and draw into it. We do have to discard our scout though. So we're going to play the mech. We're going to just straight draw with the Repair Mech. Now, putting the conversion yard on top, we could have done. I think we were really hoping to draw into like Solar Skiff Peacekeeper there to keep the drawing and keep the authority gain going. Being at 12 was really important for us to do that. But we don't. We just get a scout. But it does mean we can scrap it out. So we're going to Ion Mech, we're going to scrap out there, we're going to scrap out there, we're going to buy the patrol boat, because that's, again, authority gain that we really want, and now we scrap out the conversion yard, because we're not really doing much with it now. We've scrapped out to the point where we don't have much in our hand, so that we're not getting the damage. It's really only a 4-bun base, and we also need to get rid of Imperial Palace, so we're going to get rid of that. We're then going to buy absolutely Orbital Shuttle, because we've got enough bases that we can make good use of that. We've got a pretty good hand here with the Repair Mech, a base, and 2 draws from the blue cards. We can top something that gets destroyed, probably Ion Station. And if we can survive, we might start to think about winning this game. But it's a long way. There's a lot of deck to come up against. Starmarck draws poorly here. Gets rid of the Nexus, but not the Ion Station. I'm not sure if there's a better choice there between the two of them. They're both kind of bad. If you leave one, but knowing that we bottomed our blue, leaving the Ion Station out is a gift, so we'll take that. There is a Blob Alpha sitting on the row, looking quite tempting. We are absolutely going to draw a card. And then we're going to draw another card, and then we've got our Orbital Shuttle to draw. We could have returned the Nexus, but we also wanted to make sure that we had enough in the way of trade to pick up the Blob and also scrap out as much as possible. So we do pick up Blob Alpha, scrap out from the discard. We scrap that because, again, we're looking to make the most of the cards available, and 4 damage on a card that scraps from hand's not really, again, doing much for us. We're focusing down to blue, and we're trying to make every card count as much as possible. So that card goes, which is another reason not to top the Nexus. It means we can draw into our remaining deck, get rid of all the garbage, and really filter down. And at 31, we're probably safe for the next turn. Great hand coming up. We can definitely top a base. We can then draw into it, and we can Orbital Shuttle. So at this point, we're probably drawing our entire deck. And then Starmarck comes in very hot, a lot of damage, healing, and knocks us down to 16. We're still at 32, but his deck is significantly bigger than ours at this stage. So we can top Ion, we can then draw into Ion again. Nexus to draw, Ion to get all of the authority differential into Peacekeeper, to then draw, to then put down Patrol Cutter, buy a base, then buy Reclamation Station. And ironically, Reclamation Station is going to give us the lethal damage we need by scrapping it with Nexus to tie the game up. So really close game. Went deep into control against quite an aggressive start by Starmarck, and ultimately I think we were probably a couple of bad draws away from getting hammered there, but it came together nicely, and there were a couple of key cards that we managed to pick up, and Peacekeeper is always such a great card, especially if you're trying to stabilize. There's so few cards that do that well in one card. You know, a 12-point swing is massive. So good game, Starmarck, and see you next time.